You ready?
Yeah, let's do this. Hello, everybody. Brie Milani here with the one and only Kaelyn Blaser.
Hello.
Hello. I'm so excited to have you on.
Oh my gosh, I am like so excited right now.
You know what's funny? I think when I first rolled this out like 7-8 months ago, you were one of the first people I thought of, and I don't know why it took so long.
When you reached out to me, I was like, oh my gosh, like I am so excited. Like I've made it. Like I get to chat because you know I love to chat.
It. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So before this, her and I literally were talking for a good like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And
I'm like, wait, that's good content. Like, wait, record.
We're like talking about life, and it's like, you know what? These are things that people need to hear because so often I do this podcast and we talk about we talk about personal life and we talk about business, and like I've had a few younger moms or younger real estate agents on this, and we do talk a little bit about life because really
this is a lifestyle.
This is a lifestyle.
Like real estate's a lifestyle.
Oh, it really is. Like it's crazy. But let's take it back. So I have known your husband since I was like little. Like I think we were in, I don't know, I was asking my mom and she's like, I honestly think you guys went to Adventure Club together. Little. And then our husbands grew up together. Like what a small world.
And then I got thrown in the mix and it was like, oh, the Blatnicks, the Blazers, the Milanis. And I'm like, who are these people?
They're all the same.
Why
are they all so crazy?
I know. I love it.
Yeah. And it's so crazy how two worlds collide because I think I didn't even know you were with Nick, or gosh, I can't even remember.
I think we literally saw each other like at an event, but maybe it was like a big Valley Mart. I don't even know.
Something.
And I think I interview for like a place that you had.
Oh my
That's
gosh,
what it was.
You did. Yep.
I think I reached out to you too, and I was like, "Hey, remember that?" Wait, no, honestly, that just came to my head.
That just like popped
I forgot about that, and it just came to my head.
You're right. That is exactly. It. And then boom,
and then from
real
there,
estate.
Yeah.
So let's talk about you and Nick. Okay. So both our husbands' names are Nick, so not to confuse anybody.
My Nick, your Nick.
Nick B.
Yep.
So how did you guys meet? Because I heard a little something.
Oh my gosh, that's insane. Okay, so I'll make it like short, but I will say we are a Twitter couple. So we did in 2012, because I'm from Sacramento, well, I'm from Elk Grove, and then so a lot of like the people that I knew went and played at Sac City. They played baseball, and he played baseball there too. And at the time, like 2012, Twitter was everything. We like collided because we had mutual friends, but we had like 4 mutual friends on Facebook. So we knew nobody. Like it literally was weird. He reached out to me. We started dating for a little bit. And then and I was like, sorry to put this on here, but I was like obsessed with him. I was like, oh my gosh, he's the best. Like this guy, this is not real, because like 4 months later, I was going to Chico State. I was going away to college. So we literally dated for 4 or 5 months, and then we decided to kind of go our own ways. He went to for 3.5 years.
Oh my gosh.
We broke up for 3.5 years.
I had no idea.
But we never like date. Like we would do, we would go do our own thing, but we stayed best friends. I still saw his family every like summer, and he's gonna kill me because he's like, you tell everybody this story, because I get excited because I'm like,
it's so cool. How
when
often
you're 19,
does that happen?
Yeah, you're 19, and then we like just grew together, and then, he played his last baseball game. I was graduating, and he was like, let's just try, when I play my last game and you graduate, like, let's just try to date again. And he literally played his last game. I graduated, and we started dating.
Okay, wait, I
know, from
chills.
2015, so we started dating 2015 and then we got married in 2020.
2020, the best
And I was so excited.
year.
I was like, oh my gosh, like, this is my dream. I literally had my journals. I know this is creepy. Some people, like, I had my journals just, like, I'm a huge journaler. And so for literally 3.5 years, I journaled just, like, keep the faith, like, let him do his thing. And we literally got to grow as, like, people, but our foundation, our values, and our morals stayed the same. So
amazing.
We never changed as people. We just, our goal, our
grew
goals,
together.
And we grew together.
That's so amazing. You got married.
And I'm like, oh my gosh.
2020. The year of the pandemic.
Oh
I remember that, actually.
Yes. It
You're
was
like,
insane.
what the heck? We have to reschedule, and then you fortunately got to have your wedding.
Yeah, we replanned the whole wedding within like 6 weeks. We went from, we did get married in the cathedral, but we were doing like this big ballroom wedding thing. And then we went to my uncle's property out in Auburn, which ended up being like the best case scenario.
Amazing.
But in that moment, when everything changes, you're like, oh my gosh. There was no point though, because like we're still, things are still so different now that it's like, thank God we just did it.
Yeah, got it over with.
I know, I hate to say like we got it over with. in a nice way.
Better than like, oh, so my best friends, they eloped and now they're going to have a big wedding.
And they're going to do the whole shebang.
Literally 2 years later. And it's like, because they were like,
it's just different. I know.
It's just crazy. So happy that
I think it's still crazy for people not getting married. But
it is. Just let's go.
I just say, no one asked for my advice, but here's what I would say. Just do it.
Just do it.
Like, just do it.
And you know what? It'll all work out.
And it all worked out.
It's worked out for you guys.
Oh my gosh.
And you guys just bought a house.
I know.
And you have 2
I came
puppies.
up the Roseville way.
Ooh, like you're out in my
I know. I had him in Sac for 3 years because we lived in Sac together and like by downtown, like that was our thing. And then finally we decided to buy when the market was crazy, and I said I will never buy like in this market, and boom,
here you are.
I did everything that I said I'd never do, and now we're so happy.
I'm known for that too. I will never. I literally said I will never.
I know.
Drive a minivan. Guess who has a minivan?
I heard you have a minivan.
Oh, I
saw it. You know, I was thinking about that the other day. I don't know. I mean, is it fabulous?
Oh, it's the best thing that ever, like, in the world.
When
you have children.
Like, you'll never go back.
I don't care what anybody thinks of me.
I know.
You think I'm lame for driving a minivan? Well, good for you. You don't.
It's probably people like me that don't have kids, and I'm like, I'm never.
Oh, that's how I was. Yeah. I never do that.
So
never say
hit
never.
me up in five years and be like, yo, what kind of car are you driving?
Yeah, I want to see. I will say we looked at every SUV on the market, and nothing blew my mind more than this minivan. Good. I mean, it's
you're
incredible.
Happy.
Oh yeah,
I love it,
and it's amazing. But anyways,
I know. Sorry,
it's not very fun.
We could go off on a
we
tangent.
could talk for hours.
I know.
So hopefully you're buckled up and ready.
I know.
So let's talk about you getting into real estate.
Okay.
So we talked a little bit about how we kind of met each other and stuff. And then I think when I like officially got to know you, you were actually, so she's here at KW in Elk Grove, but you were here.
I know.
So
I came
about
back
that full circle. Yeah.
Okay, so after, everyone always asks you graduate college, and they're like, okay, what the heck are you going to do? And in that moment, I'm not joking. Like, I loved serving people. Like, I always, out of high school, I was a server, and I actually loved it. Like, I loved giving people good service, and then them being like, oh my gosh, you did amazing, or going to my manager and being like, Kaelyn was awesome. Like, that just gave me, it's this, crazy high almost. Yeah. And so I knew that I either wanted to be, a flight attendant to serve people. I still sometimes think about that. I'm like, how
I
cool
could
would
totally
that be?
see.
Like, hello, can I get you some peanut? I don't know. I love that.
Yes.
And then, but I also, there's this, real estate thing. I know everyone always says, I have always loved real estate, but there was something different about it. I don't know. It was just, once again, thinking about how you can serve people to, a high level. And real estate always just kept, popping up in my mind. My parents are landlords to home, so I grew up kind of tenants would leave. We'd go and clean the house out, just the verbiage. And so I said, okay, I know, though, that I can't just jump right into the whole, commission thing. I just knew that. And
right.
So I'm like, okay, what could I do? So I literally, after college, moved back in with my parents here in Elk Grove. I went back to serving for a little bit just to get my feet wet and just to figure it out. And I walked in here to Keller Williams, and I was like, do you have a job? Literally was like, do you have a job? Are there jobs in this industry?
I
didn't
paid
know.
Without commission?
Yeah, and I'm not joking, you guys. Literally 2 weeks before, they had just let the front concierge go.
Oh wow!
And they were like, we're actually hiring. It was kind of weird how it happened, and I got the job literally within a few days. And let me tell you this: I always tell people this day, if I got paid what I could potentially have the opportunity to do as a realtor, as the concierge, I might go back. I loved it so much.
Just pay me that, and I'll just greet people.
And I have joked to people about it, and they're like this, yeah, honey, you're not going to make that.
That's not going to happen.
Yeah, but I loved it. It was one of my favorite jobs because I feel literally I started from the ground up in the sense of actually getting to watch the lifestyle firsthand. Right. Seeing people come through the door and with their clients and meeting, and then, the husband maybe bringing the kids for lunch or them being here all day. And it was really cool. And then, of course, you do see some checks that come in and you're like, oh, okay, so I have the opportunity to do this. But what was also really crazy to me was just all the relationships that I was able to build. I mean, I got to meet all the agents and talk with them. And I don't know, I loved that. And then I was in that position for about 8 months. And then I had the opportunity to be the executive assistant to Connie Van, who's huge agent here still. And at the time, you don't know, but now that I look back, I'm like, oh my gosh, she's just built such a name and business for herself. It's incredible and crazy. And I got my license under her. So I didn't sell. I just was helping her from literally start to finish and building the systems, because at that time she was getting bigger. And so we were kind of okay, systems and how it all works. And yeah, I was with her for almost 2 years. So I didn't sell. I was just kind of hands-on. Once I had my license, I was able to lock boxes. And so I really got to be hands-on.
And then you decided, I'm going to take the leap of faith. I'm going to be an agent.
Yeah. scary. I look back now and I'm like, oh my gosh, wait, maybe
remember,
one more year. I should have done like one more year.
No, I remember when you did, and I don't know if we text or if I maybe I'd come in the office.
I think we did chat.
And you were just
terrified,
like, yeah,
I think,
I'm going to do it. Yeah, but I mean, what else are you supposed to do? I think they say, like, don't do this part-time. If you're going to do it, do it. Like do it. Jump in, feet first, go. So, and how long were you at KW as an agent?
So so July 2018, I started selling. So summer of 18, and I was here for a whole year.
Okay.
And I will say, before we come back to full circle, I always commit to something for at least a year. Yeah. I know that's horrible now. I'm going to stay here longer, but I did a year here, and then I did make some other transitions.
Which is totally
and now I'm
normal.
back home. I came back.
It's so normal. And I think, people are given a lot of like crap for moving. And we've all done it. I mean, this is my third stop in insurance. I've been in the industry 9 years, and it's like, it's hard.
Yeah, you did it in 9 years. I moved 3 times in 3 years.
There's nothing wrong with that.
It is what it is. Yeah.
You know what? I learned one thing, and it's like, if you're not happy doing what you're doing, then change it. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, you're the only person that can make that.
Agree. And I think too, like, that's what I would love to do what you're doing. Like, I would love to just talk to people and chat and ask them questions, because you learn from everybody. I mean, like, when I would talk to agents who have been in the industry for a long time, and I would talk with them, they'd say my biggest regret was I always just kind of stayed comfortable. Mm-hmm. Like, I wish that if I needed this, or I would have done this, or I wish I would have like started my systems earlier. I wish I would have learned, got an admin sooner. And I'm a huge analyzer. Like, I'm weird. Like, I analyze conversations and I take it in and I like learn and grow from them. And I just remember every time I moved, which was the 3 times, it was like, I feel weird moving because I don't want people to look at me differently, like, oh, she can't stay longer.
Totally normal.
It also was like, I don't want to look back and be like, you know what, I should have not, like, I was just comfortable and I was fear of what people were going to say. Like, yeah, because I'm only growing. With every move, I got better. And every move too was something, like, I grew in some way. I learned something that then helped me get to where I would like to go.
Yeah, and each year you got better.
Every year I got better and more comfortable. And once you move and when you make decisions for yourself that you know that are right for yourself, there's just this confidence that comes with it. And I can't explain it. You just have to make your own moves and feel it.
And I think it's safe to say, like, if you have clients listening, it doesn't matter when your agent makes a move.
No,
you matter.
Yeah,
That's it.
And people always said that. So I always thought, I was like, oh my gosh, are my clients going to be like, oh my gosh, I thought you were with it. They don't remember. They don't ask me. They're like, hey, what? I mean, they really do work with me for me. And then honestly, what I've learned too is when you say like, hey, I made this move and this is why, and this is how they're going to help me, which is only going to benefit you. They're like, okay, well, as long as I'm benefited, like,
I'm good.
As long as I'm taken care of, like,
people don't know like you because of who you work with.
Right. And they really don't remember now that I look back.
They don't.
But that does come with time. So anyone listening that maybe wants to make a move, just do it if it feels right.
Yeah, that's fair. And you know what? We've all been in that position. Yeah. I know the last company I was with, when I moved from there to here, it was a huge, there was that voice in my head of like, what are people going to say?
I know.
And I thought,
because you build relationships.
You build relationships. You really work hard for this company. Yeah. And really what it came down to for me is what is best for my family though? This wasn't best for my family. Having, now that I'm here, I've been here a year and a half, it's like flexibility to go pick up Kennedy from school and go drop Kennedy off where I need that because I'm a mom first. And that's actually one of the things I said to my boss is like, I'm a mom first. He's like, totally. Well, I would hope so, you know? Whereas my last company, I didn't feel that way. I felt like I had to like kind of simmer down on being a mom, but it's like, no, these are my children. These are like my like pride and joy. Life. This is my life. Right. And if you can't agree with that, then we're not compatible. So, you're right. Like, it is scary. The voices in your head of what are people going to think? But at the end of the day, no one really cares.
No, they don't.
And if they do care, then that's on them,
not
on
me.
You. Yeah.
Then they're just not for me. And honestly, it's about how I feel too. I mean, it's not even how I look anymore. It's like how I feel personally, because then I take that energy. Like, I'm a huge energy person. If I'm around bad energy, or if I am bad energy, people like it. I'm just a vibe like that. Right. And when I'm off, then everybody around me who actually loves me, and the people that I'm like working so hard to help support this lifestyle, they don't get the best of me. Right. So moving forward in life, I will always make moves for myself and my family.
Yeah, and who cares what anybody else
And I do care sometimes, I will say. I just don't wear it.
Yeah.
Like there's a little, I'm like, oh my God, I do care, but I don't wear it. Like, I don't let it affect me.
Yeah, and that's good because, you should care a little bit. Obviously, we're in this industry.
We have to have integrity.
Have some sort of, right.
For sure, yeah.
But you don't want it to, affect
my whole
your day-to-day basis. No, it's not worth it.
No.
So how long now have you been back at KW?
Oh my God, I just came back. Like literally the end of December. So I hit my year. I hit my year again because and then I did come back to KW, and I will say, like, this decision I did take time to think about, but it was almost a decision that just felt right. Like for, it just felt like, oh my gosh, I'm coming home. It was really cute. Like people were like, oh, welcome home. And I was like, oh my gosh, like you said that and that was so cool, but like I felt it. Like I just felt like it was home.
Well, and I remember actually when you left here, you were like devastated. You were like,
oh my gosh, I loved.
You loved everybody.
Totally.
But like you said, you made a move for what you thought was a better opportunity, and it helped you grow. And
helped me grow.
That's so fair. You know what? When it was something that I remember you were like,
do you remember? People remember like each move. I'm like, hey, wait, which move do you know? Like, who did I talk to?
I really only knew this one.
Okay. But you were coming around here a lot though with like,
Yep, that's exactly. So it was like I was kind of in the front of it.
Well, and I lived in Sac too, so that's what I would say, because now I live in Roseville and people are like, wait, why did you go to the KW Elk Grove one? I mean, my roots are still here. So when I look at my business, it's like, I'm everywhere kind of because I do work with a lot of buyers. So I'm kind of like, hey, take me like where you want to go. But I am everywhere. I'm Elk Grove, I'm Roseville. And a lot of the roots of my business comes from people that are either selling in Elk Grove to move to where I'm at now or moving, wanting to buy in Elk Grove or moving to Sac. So I had to pay attention to where my people were and where my roots were.
And you're now working in Roseville and in Elk Grove.
Yeah, I'm both. So they were so cool. They're like, hey, you can come here anytime. Like, they've been so accommodating. So I've been, like, so grateful for that because I live literally 10 minutes from there. So it's, like, really ideal.
Yeah, and that way you can, if you have clients there, you can go there.
Oh, yeah, and I have the best of both. It's literally, like, the best of both worlds. And a lot of people, like, that are in the Roseville now, too, were either here at some point or everybody just kind of knows everybody, which I love.
KW is, like, a great culture.
KW's total culture.
Yeah, that's huge.
Which was big for me.
Oh, yeah, and that's what you thrive off of,
I
especially.
thrive off culture, but I didn't know that. That was my thing. That's why I went, like, to my next step. I moved around a little bit because I'm like, oh, like, almost, like, looking for the next best thing. And it's like, you need to like actually listen to like what you need and then follow that. Yeah. Which is culture for me and just environment and yeah.
And a lot of times like, somebody can post stuff on social media to make it look like this culture that it might not be. I know that's what had happened to me at a previous company. And
isn't that like all of social media? I mean, it's not always about you. That's why I do try to be real as much as I can. But at some point, it's like you don't want to be a drag.
You don't want to be negative.
Like,
guess what happened
people
today?
Go to your page and they're like,
skip.
Yeah.
No, I love your page because I'm like, oh girl, where'd you get those jeans?
I know, I do love that. I love that.
She's also like half real estate agent, half influencer.
Oh God, no.
I definitely bought like a shacket that you had.
Oh, I know. Did you get that? Did you love that? Oh, I love it.
Actually, I almost wore it today, but it's like hot out.
It is hot. No,
it's like
global warming or something like that.
I was like, okay, what's going on?
I know. No, I love to do that. Yeah, we can get into that later, but I do love that.
We're gonna start a podcast about being an influencer.
Yes.
Come join us.
But no one wants to watch me. Like I'm not really that.
You are though. You make it
I'm just
fun
a normal person that is on a budget and you can relate to. Yeah. I just want to be relatable.
Yeah. Which, I mean, we literally showed up in the same necklace, like $14
$14 Amazon.
You can't beat that. Yeah. But it is. I want to talk about your social media because it is something that I think some agents don't fully grasp the concept of. And honestly, I'm guilty. Like, I kind of do more of my business stuff on Facebook and then more of my family stuff on Instagram. And I'm
not on Facebook. I need to get on Facebook more. I'm really bad on Facebook.
A lot of loan officers I work with are on Facebook.
Yeah. So I need to get closer to this room.
No, you're doing good. Okay. I get to see like their life on there. Yeah. Whereas like our generation is more Instagram and Twitter. Well, not so much Twitter anymore, but TikTok or whatnot. So I feel like I like having both, but I tend to not share a lot about work on Instagram just because I don't know why. It's just
you don't. But Facebook though, I'm like, okay, I know. Yeah.
Which I need to be better about both. But I want to talk about your Instagram and honestly how it's helped you in real estate because you really do show like the good, the bad, the ugly. Here's what's going on in a transaction.
I really do try.
It's real because as me maybe not knowing a single thing about this industry, let's forget I know anything about it and not knowing anything. Watching stuff that can go wrong in inspections, watching escrows fall out, watching your buyers getting an offer accepted $20,000 under asking price.
I know.
Things that are real that people don't see behind the scenes and they don't know unless they're in the trenches with you.
Totally.
So what inspired you to want to be an open book like that?
That's a good question. I think that so remember I said like I analyzed people and I always was like asking questions and I would literally go to like top agents that I admired and I'd be like, oh my gosh, you're killing it. I love it. Like, how do you do that? Mm-hmm. And they would tell me the honest, when we're face to face, they'd be like, oh my gosh, I'm exhausted. This sucks. I literally fight with my family. I had 4 fallout last week. And in my mind, I was like, it's not like this, like you're excited to hear that. Like obviously like that sucks. Like I don't like it. But there was this like, oh my gosh, like you're human. Like things actually go wrong. Like why are we not showing that? And I get it. Like we don't want to show that stuff because it's negative and we don't want someone to be like, wow, my agent like is getting escrows like they're not closing them or whatever. Right. But it's also like, I think that it sets people up for this, or not being real, I think sets people up for this unrealistic expectation. Right. And I think that over the years, as things have changed, this industry has changed where people have higher expectations. We have the iBuyers now. So a lot of like the millennials, my people are like, I want cheaper, faster, stronger, whatever. And it's not realistic sometimes. And I think for me, my reasoning of like showing that is so that people know that it's normal if something doesn't go great sometimes. It's normal if things do fall out. And I just hated the unrealistic expectation. That's awesome. And like, and I'd have like friends in my friend group who obviously like they'd have an agent prior to me, right? And they'd be like, hey, I want what my friend had. They got, $50K on their listing, like $50K above, and they did this and they didn't give this. And I'm like, I get that, but it's transactional. And so right. I think on my Instagram, that's why I'm so like, hey guys, remember, yes, like our goal is to get that, but each transaction is a different players. It's right. a different player, like different playing field. You have a different, let's speak football. You have a different quarterback each time. Someone might be going through something with their family that day, that game, and something's off. Like, I think that's why I just wanted to be real. And with being real too, it is scary sometimes because right. I do think I do put myself out there, and I'm like, is someone going to be like, Kaelyn's being negative, or Kaelyn's like having issues? And it's like, no, I'm not. I honestly show this for my future self too, to show how far I've come. And my future goal, I know this is crazy, but I would love to write a book at some point in my career, have a podcast. Awesome. Like, so how are people going to like respect me as like this honest person later on in my career if I can't show them the good, the bad, the ugly? Right. I want them to see that. And now that we're able to put that on camera, I have a ton of videos I've never shared of me, like, my whole 3 years. I've videoed my whole 3.5 years, like like crying in my car, like, and I know that's so vulnerable, but I'm excited because when I look back at some of them, sometimes I'm like, oof, someone needs to hear that. There's somebody, I'm not ready to fully like throw myself out there yet, but I'm like, someone's going to use this one day, and I don't want them to go through certain things that I've like gone through, Right. Or they have somebody to relate to. Yeah. Like relatable. Or you can say like, hey, you could have a bad day and still be like a bad butt out there, like it's human. It's normal. Yeah. Which is so cool. So I try to come from a place. Well, and it's true because I think, like you said, everybody posts the highlight reel. Mm-hmm. Which is fine, though. Yeah. I will say, like, and I didn't mean to cut you off, but, like, I feel like there's some people that aren't meant to do the bad and the ugly. Right. And I think that's okay. I think that there's a select few of us that have this, it's in us. Yeah. And we have something in us that we're meant to share that. And I think if you have that in that, and if you have that in you, or you feel this calling to share, you should, because it's going to help someone. And I think that there's some that they just don't have it in them, and there's no wrong in doing that. Yeah. You know what I mean? But it's true, though. People don't like to share what goes wrong. But it's interesting. I notice, like what you said, when you talk to people in person, what they'll tell share you everything versus what's actually real, or, what they actually post on social media. It's so true. Well, you do a phenomenal job. Thank you. Seriously, your Instagram. I do. I watch it. Sometimes I have my days. I'm like, oh, God, I don't feel like getting on there. You don't have to, though. I mean, you know what? If you're feeling something, you post it. Yeah. Yeah. I need to be better about that. Yeah, but it'll come in time, though. It'll come in time, though. And you have to feel it. Because let me tell you, if it's not natural, people see it. Right. So if you're not, like, there's been times where I'm like, oh, let me do a video. And I, like, try to do it 3 times. I'm like, you know what? I'm not feeling it today. Yeah. Like, I'm trying too hard. The message is not going to come out the way I want it to. Right. We'll fast forward tomorrow. I used to. Well, I still do. I do post like a video, just information. Yeah, here's what's going on. You did a video the other day, and I love that. Oh, thank you. Yeah. But just trying to do what's going on. But I do like showing like this is real life, because honestly, like being a mom in this industry, being a full-time. I don't know how you do it. I envy that so much. Oh well, don't envy it because it's not pretty. Well, being a parent is like the greatest thing ever. I always tell people this. It is the most amazing thing ever. But we were talking about this off the air. It's like, if you're not ready, don't do it. Like I tell people, because you know what? At the end of the day, like it's so hard. It's like so incredibly hard. It's a forever commitment. They're there forever. Is that horrible to say? Like your kid? I mean, it's a commit. I mean, it is a commitment. Yeah. You're committing to like. It's a lot. It's a lot. And you know what? It's amazing. It's like, I wouldn't change it for the world, but it is so much. I have friends that are like, we don't know if we're ready. Then don't. Yeah. Don't do it. Why would you? Yeah, you need to be like 100%. You need to be 100%. Nick is so ready. Is he? No I'm pressure. Not ready yet. I know. And can you imagine being Kennedy, she's the first grandbaby in the family, right? No, Jax, our nephew. Oh, that's right. I forgot Jax is older. Okay. Jax is like 5 months older. But they're the first. Both together. Oh my gosh. They're so spoiled. Oh my gosh. That good baby would be the first, huh? Yeah. Oh, goodness. If we had, if we were the ones. If you were the ones, ooh, no pressure. Oh, God, no pressure. Jeez. It does. It changes everything. And I think what we talked about a little bit before we hopped on here was like the good, the bad, the ugly in this industry. And I know we both have struggled in this industry. It's not an easy industry. For sure. So it's like,
if you're like, I really felt like when we had Kennedy, I thought I was in a great position.
Yeah.
I was at a company for almost 4 years, and I was like, this is great. I mean, a lot of stuff happened, obviously.
For
but,
sure.
I felt so ready. And now looking back, it's like, then I got laid off, and I was like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do?
I know.
But it all worked out.
It all works out.
It all worked out for the better.
That's how you react to it.
Yeah. The company I was with was what we were talking about, was so big on like numbers, goals. Here's what you have to do. And it was motivating, but I don't know if I could have done it as a mom. You know, I thought, wow.
Leave it to someone else to do that, and then you go on to do your next thing.
Yeah, and it all works out. So once you guys decide to have babies, it'll all work out. I know it will.
Well, I'm trying to put things in place right now so that I feel more ready to like.
You'll never feel 100% ready.
I know. Everyone says that. Everyone says that. They're like, okay, you're never going to be as, you know, like, you know, some people say like, oh, I want to wait to be financially stable. You're never, because then you get to that place and then you want more. Like, you're never ready. You're never going to be the,
you know. Kids go do sports, and then they have school, and then it's, you'll never be.
Are you guys done it too?
I think so.
Not to get into that. But
no, I think so. You know, you could totally get into it. I honestly thought when we had Kaelyn, I would have a third. Yeah. Because he was pretty good for the first.
So cute.
Oh, he's so
Those
freaking
curls,
cute.
I can't.
I mean, he's precious. You just want to kiss his face. I know. He's so naughty. He's so naughty. Yeah. He's like, if he was
he's
here.
The boy. He's like the first boy. Like.
Yeah. If he was here, like these would be knocked over. He would be yanking your bracelets off you.
I know the kid. They love my bracelets.
Yeah. But he's like, I love him. He's crazy in a good way, but I think I'm good. One of each. Okay. I'm done.
You're done.
Now, maybe in 5 years, ask me. I might change my mind. But as of now, I'm done. Yeah. You'll see. Once you start, everyone's like, I want 3 and 4.
I used to want 4. I'm like, I want 4 boys. I used to say I want 4 boys. And now, like, I know. And now I'm like, ooh, I don't know about that.
I don't think I could do it. I think 2 is like great, especially while working.
And life is expensive.
Oh, it's so expensive. And we have help of my mom and mother-in-law watching them. And I can imagine people that are like, oh yeah, we pay for daycare. I'm like, that's like a mortgage payment.
I know. No, I hear that stuff sometimes when people are factoring, when we're talking about mortgage, like, where are you comfortable? And they're factoring all that. I'm like, wait, what is that? And they're like, oh yeah, you know, and I'm like, for daycare?
$2,000 one of my clients pays for 2 kids.
Oh, that stresses me.
$2,000. When she told me, I
told my mother-in-law, I said, you need to retire. When we have a baby, you're retiring. And then I told my mom, I'm like, yeah.
We're going to work this out.
We're working
Your mother-in-law will definitely be.
1,000%.
She'll be ready.
Oh, she's ready.
So let's talk about your mom.
Okay.
So as I'm walking into the building, I recognize Little Deb because of your Instagram. Again, because you're so good on social media. Never met her a day in my life.
I know. People go up to her, they're like, hey, Little Deb. She's like, hello.
She goes, did you recognize me because I'm so short?
No, she said that?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's 4'9.5".
She is so tiny. I go, honestly, no, because on Instagram, you don't look short. Yeah. Like, I can't tell your size on she's so sweet.
I know.
So you had an epiphany, maybe? I don't know. What do you want to call it? That you wanted to bring your mom on as an agent.
It was kind of like overtime things. Are we already at 30 minutes? Sorry.
Well,
I could chat forever.
Yeah. Well, actually, okay. Let's take a break and we'll talk about that.
Okay.
Because I know that is a big thing of what you're trying to do for 2022. Gosh, I almost said 2021.
I know.
Where are we?
I know.
Yeah.
And then it's gonna be 2025, and we're like, oh.
I can't even.
Okay, break.
Let's take a break, come back, and we'll talk about that.
Okay. Bye.
We are back.
We're back. Because Kaelyn can chat a lot.
I literally love you on this. You're like, oh, geez, 30 minutes.
I know.
But seriously, I did not feel it. For one, I didn't feel like that was 30 minutes.
I felt like 10, 15.
We probably could talk for a good another hour.
I could think of a million topics if people want to watch.
I mean, we're going to have a part 2. Let's just be honest.
Give me a part 2.
Yeah.
Give me one like at the end of the year and see how I'm doing.
Let's do it. Seriously. Okay, we'll do a check-in.
How did this year?
I love
check
that.
In.
Okay, we just created something.
Okay, check-in.
So
check-in 22.
2022. Let's recap. Okay. So we talked a little bit. I didn't know if you wanted to talk about this, so I was like shying away from it. But we want to talk about it. We want to go. Okay. So when
I'm an open book.
Yeah, and I love that though because a lot of people aren't. I felt the same way you did. So we were talking about this industry. When the going gets tough, it's tough. It's hard. You are in a million different positions trying to please a million different people. Your husband, your family, all your clients, your broker, all these people. Yeah. You're trying to please. You're trying to be this. Just look at me. I can do it all.
Like everything.
Well, you can't do it all. You can't. And at the end of the day, you and I have both chatted. Like we had moments of like, I can't do this anymore. I'm done.
Like a moment like weakness.
Yeah. Of like, this isn't, I'm not doing this anymore for the right like it doesn't feel right anymore. What am I doing? Yeah. So cue your mom. You're like, okay, I am having a breaking point. I need to call my mom.
Call my mom.
Yeah.
So 2021, I will say, was that one year that I will always look back on when people, let's say someone looks up to me later on in life, like, how did you do it? What was that one year that you like set your systems, you got an admin, you got help? It will always be 2021 because that was my hardest year mentally, physically, emotionally, and everything. And I don't know why. I think I joke that I'm a recovering people pleaser. So like you said, you're doing everything. I'm trying to please everybody. And then it was my first year of marriage and we had come off this crazy wedding year. And it was so much. And it was also just my biggest year kind of in real estate. And I remember just calling my mom going, I need help. Like, I don't know what to do. Like, I don't know. Like, I love this job. I know I'm right for it. But I don't know if I could do it. Like the life that I want and the lifestyle of, or the mom I want to be and the wife I want to be, if I continue on this path of doing things the way I'm doing it, I'm not going to have any of that. Mm-hmm. Like I physically can't do it. And I remember she was just like, okay, well, hang tight. Like, what do we do? And literally, I want to say like within a few weeks, she signed up to get a real estate license. I know, you're going to be crying. I'm like,
I know.
She's like, I'm going to help you. She's like, what can I do? Like, what can I do? And I was like nervous because I'm like, okay, well, I don't know if you're up to speed. My mom was a stay-at-home mom my whole life.
Right.
So she did everything for me. And
but stay-at-home moms are like the greatest.
I don't know how I do not want, I have the utmost respect for stay-at-home moms because it is, oh my gosh, I can't. Yeah. But she did that her whole life for me. And I just feel like in that moment, it was like, oh my gosh, like she's so good at things that I'm not good at. And like she wants to help. And I also feel like people are like, oh, leverage in your business, but I don't trust everyone anymore. It's not that I don't, but like I have a way of doing things and I just want, and so I said, okay. And she got her license, literally passed on her first time. I said, how am I going to utilize her? And that kind of factored in coming back to KW too, because I'm like, I'm everywhere. Who's going to help me and nurture her and make her feel good? Like you do good when you're in a good environment. Right. And she loved Keller Williams.
And they have an amazing
program, training. Like I could go to sleep at night going, she's going to get the best training, because I know things, but there's things I don't know behind the scenes. And I'm like, you're going to get the best training. And I trust her. She loves me. She loves my business. She loves my clients. And she, it's kind of that opportunity where, 2020 and COVID, a lot of people were losing their family members. And it kind of just hit me going like, life is short. Like my mom might not be here one day. Right. And I moved to Roseville. She lives in Elk Grove. We missed each other. We saw each other all the time. And it was like, you know what? Why would we not just why would you not be my support?
Right.
And like,
who else can you trust more than your own mom?
Who else? Yeah. And I'm like, one day I would like to have children, but I was at this place last year where it was like, I physically can't. Like, I have so much going on that I need to work on some things. And so with her kind of like stepping in and helping me and her loving it. And I could see like there's a spark in her that she hadn't had. I mean, her whole life was for her children. Yeah. And it's been really cool. So she's kind of like that supporting role. People are like, are you guys like teaming up? No, she is a supporting role. She has her license, but even I will say in the last this month, she's taken my clients up. People love her. I mean, she's just like,
how could you not? She's infectious.
And she means well. She's so sweet, and like people are just like, she's a magnet, and it helps me. And so I have had more dinners with Nick at night because she's taking clients to properties, and she loves it. And so I did. My mom has joined me in helping me.
That's so amazing.
And she loves it too. And we have the best time ever. And she calls me out. And she's like, you need to chill.
Oh.
I'm like, oh my gosh,
But you need that though.
I need it though. And I know that it comes from a good place.
Right.
And it's real and it's honest. And I am still working out, like making sure like I'm not too harsh sometimes because it is my mother, but it's also business. Like I need to see her as like a business person, you know? I'm excited to see her grow.
Oh, you guys are going to kill it this year.
You know what? I think we're going to do well with the support because we have a good time. And I think I'm getting that spark back because there was a time last year where I was like, I don't know. I don't know.
Well, when we talked about it, it feels like when you're a real estate agent or for me, an insurance agent.
Yeah.
Everybody else is. Every person and their mother has their license.
For
and you're like, how do I make myself different? And it starts to wear
on you.
It's
so competitive. And I hate, and I will say this. I cheered. I was never a huge competitive person. I am for my clients in those situations. I'm like, oh my gosh, let's go. But for me personally, I just wasn't. And so then everyone's getting their licenses. And now I'm up against 10 other people. And I will say the one thing about me is I'm like this. Hey, if someone's better for you, then that's good. Like you need to go with who's the best for you. Yeah. And I think that's almost how I've built my business with just being very like chill. Like, hey, oh my gosh, we would be so great together. Or hey, you need to go with who works best for you.
Yeah.
And that's just kind of like my vibe a little bit.
Which is good because you have like you have an amazing personality. I can't imagine anybody would be like, I don't want to work with them.
No, but there's some people where I'm like, I don't know if this is going to work. Like you're calling me at 11:30 at night. Like I can't do that. Like I just recently started setting boundaries where it was like, that was hard for me, but I am doing
I told you when you walked in, you're like, oh, you work weekends? I'm like, no.
I know. I love that. I do envy that. I mean, I love I do like working weekends on something, you know, but I do envy.
Well, and it is kind of one of those things that I used to do events on the weekends and the evenings. Yeah. And I'm like, it's just a no anymore. You know, want to know why? Because what's more important than my babies and my husband at home?
You guys, I have my mom now, though. I had my new listing, and we did an open house together on a Saturday. It was so much fun. Oh, she went and picked up. Like,
I saw it.
I know. It was cute. Did you see that?
Yeah, super cute.
So cute. At River Park, so cute. But
you're always that.
Yeah. No, she, like, in the mornings, I would, like, on open house mornings, I would be so stressed because I would, like, leave Nick, and I'd love to just, like, have coffee with him, and I'd be going and getting all the cookies and everything. And Saturday I hung out with him. Well, and then he went golfing, which whatever, but
not bitter.
Yeah, whatever. No. And then she went and got all of that, set it all up, and she was so excited. And so it's like, cool, there you go.
Yeah. And now, like you said, you're not feeling resentful.
No, I can take a Sunday off. She's going to do it. My clients trust her, you know, and it's great.
I'm excited to see. Okay, we're going to check in a
Little
year
Deb
from
content
now.
coming your way.
Oh yeah, and if you follow her, Kaelyn, on Instagram, you will get Little Deb.
I have a whole highlight for Little
Deb. She's so cute. I loved when you guys did the let's
drive around
through the zip codes.
Loves
I'm like, she's so cute.
She's so
love
smart
her.
With that stuff.
She is, and that's like something you're
but that's
like,
what
hey.
I can give to people that not everybody has me, because I don't have this. So we're using each other's strengths.
That's
you know
awesome.
what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's going to be great.
I can't wait to see. We're going to check in 11 months.
Yes.
Okay. Now let's talk about our market.
Okay.
So you would say your best year last year.
Yeah. I mean, because it's been 3.5 years. So last year was totally on paper, my greatest year. I think it was every agent's greatest year.
It was such an amazing year for a lot of people. Yeah. And so with that being said, I talked to a lot of people about this. Yeah. Last year was amazing. January 1st, we're like, okay, well, gosh, I guess it's almost February now, but we're like, okay, are things changing?
Totally.
Okay, so what's going on in the market?
I mean, it's once again, I always say, like, it's transaction by transaction, because to me, I'm seeing there's still, like, buyers are jumping back out there. Obviously, rates kind of changed a little bit, which it's funny because, like, my age group loves numbers for some reason. Like, you go from, like, a 3.7 rate to a 3.9, they're, like, freaking out that it's crazy.
Yeah.
So even though they're so, like, they're so low, it's still insane out there. I mean, it either works for you or it doesn't. Mm-hmm. That's what I tell people. I say, hey, I'm telling everyone right now in this market, it's still competitive. It's still fast paced. It's get your ducks in a row. Mm-hmm. And we're having those conversations earlier. I personally think it's going to be a little bit crazier than last year, maybe. I don't know what that means, though. I don't know. I mean, there's still low inventory. It's kind of the same to me. I would love to hear what other people are saying. Like, I like chatting with other agents, just kind of see what they're saying. But it's still competitive.
I think most people, like, with real estate or loan officers that I have on here, kind of say the same thing.
Totally.
Like, well, granted,
it goes in waves. It's like week by week. It's week by week.
Well, and it's interesting. I actually remember, and I've never shared this on here, but I remember Nick and I bought our second house. We built it, and it took almost 8 months to build. Yeah. So when we locked in that, it was in like I want to say July or August.
Yeah.
We didn't get to close escrow till April, May.
Yeah,
and I remember the rates went up an entire percent. Our mortgage payment changed $500
Oh, because you couldn't lock that in until later. I know.
So we were in this position where we were like, oh my gosh.
Did we do it
in 6-7 months, the rates went up a whole percent. Why was that not talked about back then?
I don't know.
That was in 2018. No one, now.
It wasn't the fad. Now it's the fad.
I mean, my gosh.
Literally my clients every day are like, oh, I'm going to go, look at someone here who can beat this and who can beat this. And
we didn't even
crazy.
Literally, I mean, I was in this industry and it wasn't even talked about. And now I'm
looking. Just accept it. You're like, oh, it went up. Okay, cool. And then you sign it.
We were like, oh gosh, that's going to suck $500.
I think it's us agents that do that though, because I think about it, like, we're all saying something, right? Like Ryan Lindquist, he says something about rates, and then all of us, everyone follows 10 agents, and now all of us are like,
post it.
Check your, a rate, go talk to your lender, and then it starts almost setting this fear in, which is something I want to work on. It sets an anxiety into the buyers, and so then they think that they need to be scared about it. And I think sometimes us agents create our own issues.
Oh gosh, now you say
we do. We really create our own issues. We're like, go talk to your lender, and then now they're freaking out. We create the issues, so I sometimes do try to watch to not scare people. I really just want people to be protected. And I will be very honest. I'm very honest with my clients. I think it's a great market for some people. And I don't think it's a great market for others.
Yeah, that's
I
fair.
think if you're that buyer that is like, I don't want to pay over anything. I don't want to pay this. It's going to be hard for you.
Right.
It's just going to take a little bit
At least you
longer.
set
And you have
those
to accept it. Like
expectations,
I had to set the expectations for my health.
Yeah.
Because if I didn't, then I wouldn't sleep at night.
They're
because
like,
I felt
Kaelyn,
bad.
we want a house in Roseville for $300,000.
Yes. And I'm like,
okay.
listen, I was like this. I'm optimistic. And
Yeah.
now I'm like,
No,
gosh,
it's not
going to happen. I want it to happen so bad for you. It's just not the case.
Yeah.
And it's really all about education.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I see the market obviously still continuing to just be crazy. I don't know what's going to happen. I think they're saying rates are going to go up summer. I don't know what that's going to do. I think I'm literally week by week and situation by situation.
And like you said, every client's different.
Every client's different. Some clients, it's like, oh yeah, we'll pay this as this. And some are like, I'm not comfortable. And so my narrative changes all the time depending on who I'm talking to.
Yeah, which is important. You have to kind of be flexible in that sense.
Yeah.
Well, you are amazing.
Thank you.
I feel like
I think you are too.
Oh, thank you.
And thank you for inviting me on here.
Of
I was so excited. I was like, thank you.
I really do think we need to have a part 2
We should.
because I think we could talk a long time. And honestly, not a lot of people want to share the good, the bad, the ugly. So like having you on here is like a breath of fresh air.
This might help people share the ugly sometimes. Like, hey, listen, I had a crap day, but I'm excited for tomorrow.
Yeah.
Or like, you know what?
Go to bed, wake up in the morning, and just be happy.
Yeah.
So what's the best way for people to get – well, I know you're on Instagram, but what's the best way for people to get a hold of you? Instagram?
Probably Instagram, yeah. So it's Homes with K on Instagram. I was teetering,
right?
K-A-E, yeah. So Homes with K. I was teetering. I'm like, do I do my name? Nah, I don't know. I'm just going to keep it for now. I think it's my thing.
It's cute. Actually, it's funny you said it, and I knew what it spelled like because I see it.
Homes with K. I know Homes with K. Yeah, too much probably. But Homes with K on Instagram, Kaelyn Blaser on Facebook, and that's kind of where I'm at right now.
Okay, good. Well, if you guys need an amazing agent, rest assured,
thank you.
Kaelyn is here, and follow her on Instagram.
Yes.
You won't regret it.
Hey, thank you. And I'll throw an Amazon thing here and there. Maybe go buy something.
You might get a cute shacket out of it.
There you go.
Well, thanks for coming on. You're amazing. And thank you to everybody who's listening.
Thank you.
Appreciate
bye.
it. Yay! You did so good.
I said bye.
Bye. You needed to.